And good evening and welcome to the continuation of week number 3 of the Zelda 1 Randomizer Swiss round. And tonight we have on your left dk9146, on your right fcoughlin. I'm at around our brick, being joined by Smile Fires. How you doing today?
Pretty good, sir. Nice to talk to you again.
Absolutely. These runners have already begun. So let's go ahead and get this one sorted, and then I guess we'll find out exactly what we have. It's the raft as our starting item.
Okay, and we're over in the east as well. We could check that east raft spot fairly easily.
And also we can get to quick access to 3 of the Armoses. So a little bit of information about these 2 runners as we find another good item to start off with, the Any key underneath the Armos.
Well, that's a very quick start. Anyway, go ahead.
So these runners have faced off against each other in pickup races 3 total times. And Fred has won 2, and DK had won 1. Now, that one race that DK ended up beating Fred turned out to be in this flag set. The other 2 were in the fall of last year, so don't take the 2 and 1 as any sort of indication of what's going to wind up happening here, but it'd be interesting to see what we wind up getting. We do know we're dealing with some second quest mechanics later on, so looks like, at least based on what I'm seeing here, nope, this is Shape 6.
Yep. Yeah, this
so
is...
Shapes...
And gonna be second quest, second half then.
Yep. Shapes 1 through 6, second quest 7, 8, and 9. Happy, happy, joy, joy.
And they've both got first bombs found as level 6, and DK looks to be in a room with a removed open staircase with those bombs up in the corner.
Yeah, so the priority is going to be to try to tackle this room, solve it. Gotta be careful, because the Gibdos do 2 hearts of damage. Ooh, that was a little close right there. Just gotta be patient. Fred's down to a half of a heart.
Alrighty.
Is this our transport staircase? No, it's our item. It's the one boomerang.
DK says, no thank you.
And Fred ends up taking a death and is going to head right back to start. DK does take a death, but Fred not seeing the item, kind of a little more of an issue.
Yeah, he did save with his bombs, though, so he could take them to the south coast if he wants.
And the heart container is the other item inside of this 6, so if we can get an early Triforce, this would be an extremely fast level 6, as Fred finds everyone's favorite level, 2Q8.
We're entering the top left corner of it as well. It's a little room to move, actually. That is a bow on the coast.
That's a really fun bow location. Which means we need the ladder.
Yeah, I wonder where that's gonna be.
2Q8.
Well, okay, we're right here. That would be pretty convenient.
It's Wish Robes. That's the only reason why I'm saying it's gonna be here. Alright, we get locked into a Chevy, or we get into a Chevy room. Can't do much about that. DK is going to say, I have found both items in here. I am going to abandon and go somewhere else.
So quite the early divergence with DK checking out the northeast a little bit.
How well you explore the overworld can make a difference as far as getting momentum into a seed.
Got Darknuts and Lionel's on the overworld, so maybe Wizrubs will be the worst of what we see in dungeons.
You say that, but then we'll have them lumped together with Pole's voice.
Yeah, well, that's true. Entire rooms of Pole's voice.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And they'll be guarding the ladder.
Because why not?
And DK finds level 5, and that early staircase usually transport, yep.
Find an early staircase, find a transport. Something game knows.
Yes, indeed.
Now, normally
Okay.
the best thing about having the any key is the fact that you're not going to try to clear as many rooms because you don't. Oh gosh, that's a map. What do you think that is?
It looks like almost like an Old English number 4 to me somehow.
That was not the first thing that came to my mind, so I'll take your word for it.
Fred's found one of the many staircases in 2Q8. I was gonna take a look. Doesn't seem to have taken us. Ooh, haha.
Game has jokes. It's one of our forced one-ways.
That was beautiful. And DK's in a dark room with pancakes and no way to light it up. It's one of these times when room recognition can be valuable.
Oh yeah, and DK recognized that was the bracket room there, with that little bit of the water in the middle there, and the water around the edges.
What some people call the parenthesis minus, I think.
Oh, that's another good description for it.
Got a compass in 8. Triforce is not too far away. Well,
And this probably is a staircase room. Yeah, it is.
and there was a raft on the floor in 5, so thanks.
Because why not?
Well, we can leave the raft we started with at the east spot, and we can take this raft to the west spot. And then other people can use them.
I like the way you think. Oh, by the way, level 5 has more whiz robes.
Oh, joy. Well, we can finish them off in a bomb. The orange ones, at least.
That is always good when you kill a whiz robe with a bomb. Bombs galore for Fred over here. And a very, very nice Glock here for DK. We'll be able to get out of this room and would love to get that fairy so he can get Beam Sword for the remaining pancakes here.
Perfect.
But no drop.
Fred found himself all the way down in the kind of like normal starting area of 2Q8 and is now in the middle. Wizrobes in the NSU room just had a key. Might end up with a lot of disappointing room drops now that we don't really need keys.
I agree. Fred down to 2 hearts needs to be a little careful dealing with these whiz robes. And that is why.
They hurt a little bit.
Yeah. And Fred has said, I have had enough of this level 8.
Alright, we'll get our first look at the coast raft spot.
Is there something here?
Large secret, please.
No! Small secret. 3.
Not great. Okay, there's Triforce in level 5. Relatively well guarded.
You don't say.
My lips are sealed.
Mm-hmm. So are mine. Fred's gonna make his way over towards the northeast corner, or not.
Or maybe after, well, heading up the stairs first.
Fred trying to get it so he could actually, or not Fred, DK is trying to get it towards where this Triforce is, but the Wizrobes are just not letting. as we find level 3 located underneath the Lost Hills Armos. And hello, what a start.
Wow, that's not friendly. No. Okay, well, defeated one orange Wizrobe, I think. Can we get any better enemies?
Yeah, I think he actually got 2 of the Wizrobes down there. Now a 3rd orange Wizrobe. Oh, tackled before he could get to the Triforce. You see, DK was trying to get away from the pancake, which was going to prevent him from getting to the Triforce, but I think this was a case where you're worried about the pancake and you didn't see what was coming the other way.
Sometimes you just have to embrace breakfast.
And chat reminding us that DK passed up on the wooden boomerang, which would have definitely have made that pancake a non-factor.
Yeah, you just stun it and go.
Yeah.
But making our way back through. DK really would like to finish this off while he's here.
Yeah, you know where the Triforce is. You really want to come up with this at this point. Except for a red Wizrobe really hurts.
Ooh.
You know what also hurts, Smile Fires?
What does hurt, Rick?
5 HP red Gurias.
Okay, yes.
Fred trying to be careful of the blue Gurias here. Does get a heart, so that way he can at least try to take care of this one. Is that? I don't know. It doesn't push. I was going to say, is that a 9 HP blue Guria? But they can't be that high. Must not just had any hits on it.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Alright, going after the landmos with bombs.
Alright, round 3 for DK versus the Wizrobe Triforce Room. I can't even see where the blue Wizrobe is. It's in the water. Get around. There we go. We got the Triforce Silvers in 3.
Wow. 2 great pickups. DK finally getting that Triforce out of 5 and the silver arrows to complete the set with that bow once we get back over there.
But as we've discussed, that ladder is in 8, right?
Yes, and probably like on your way in the transition between the 2-column part on like going toward the middle. That bottom row.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. The general area where the bomb upgrade is in vanilla.
Yeah. Because we already saw Fred go through a turnstile, so there's probably some staircase that's supposed to... Well, there has to be a staircase nearby there.
Yeah, I agree. Fred finds the Triforce. Yeah, for certain. Fred finds the Triforce of level 3, finds a staircase. Get away from the blue Lambola. Oh,
that was handy.
He's going to try to kill it because he needs to get back through that door. Watch this be a segmented through. Oh, he came up enough out the block.
Yeah, just a little too far. Oh, wow.
And that blue Lamola at the start is back again. Back for vengeance.
Well, at least it's right at the start. And DK just got out of the way of that spike trap in time once he came out of the stairs. Horizontal shoot with Wizrobes, no thank you. And
right, Fred. Back in the room with the Triforce, and this time, let's see what he chooses to do as the Lambos chase him down and catches him. Oh my gosh.
That was not nice.
A very tough beginning for both of these runners. We've got ourselves a heck of a seed.
So now that there is a vertical shoot, like immediately once we come into 8, I'm hoping that the other one-way dumps us off on the right side, because that would be great.
I like the way you think.
The
Wand in 3, that will help with the Lamola.
It's perfectly positioned too. We can just jump out of the stairs and keep going. Ah! Okay, back through that door.
Get that Triforce and get out of here.
Yep, all done in level 3.
Oh, DK didn't get the bomb. And takes the hit.
Definitely a tough combat start, even though not many other things are going to be getting in our way with the any key.
Fred gets a lucky bomb drop.
Yeah, silvers were in 3.
Yeah. Silver's in the wand in 3. The question is where is the ladder to get that bow?
Alright, now Fred's going to see 5.
And we just saw the floor item. That was the only thing we saw inside of this 5.
I think maybe contributing to that is the Triforce kind of gets in your way, too.
And DK's wallet is going to double in size.
Got that thrickle off the coast.
What did you call it?
A thrickle. It's a nickel, but it's 3.
I approve.
Maybe DK is going to come back to 5 as well.
I have a feeling this is probably towards the 1Q5 route. Lionel's almost saying no, though. Oh, that rock came so close.
Alright, well DK will get a look in 3 soon enough as well.
Ooh, 80 for our large secret.
Looks like Fred wants the second raft.
Well, maybe it's like the potion, where if you get the second item, it becomes the super raft. Or maybe like it's like a Link to the Past rando, where the items are progressive.
What can we do with a double raft?
We can sail to Link's Awakening.
I'd be fine with that.
So would I.
It seems like a very pleasant place besides the whole shadow thing. Seeing some suggestions that we just upgrade to a boat at that point. Oh, Fred taking down the NSU. That is a tough room.
Yeah, that was the same room that caught DK twice.
Alright, well, DK's filled up on bombs.
We'll soon see the silver arrows in this level 3.
Do have to get through some red gorillas, who, as you mentioned, are a little bit beefy.
And their boomerangs do hurt. You know that raft that is in Link's Awakening, that raft game?
Kinda.
That's what the Super Raft is. It lets you play that game for all those rupees, but you gotta bring the feather if you want to get the best rewards.
I can accept these terms. And going back through 5, having to take that transport just to get in, it's really something.
Although I do like the suggestion in chat that it becomes like the Wind Waker boat.
Oh, the sailboat? That's nice.
Yeah.
Alright, back into the NSU room for Fred. And DK's cleared out 2 full rooms of Gurias and didn't really get much to show for it. Oh, Landmo's got out of his way.
Yeah, they did the same thing for Fred on his return adventures, trying to get to that blue Lamolda staircase room. Fred's trying to take advantage of the fact that the Wizrobes really have no place to go in the NSU room.
Yeah, it's a little nice in that regard. Makes it a little easier maybe to come in from the side. Ah, perfect. DK
Another
taking down
link
the
spins in
Wandering.
a circle.
Yeah. Opno Point, our tracker, calling up both types of Gurias are +2.
By the way, you know what's rude about that room? That room that the Triforce is in 5?
What's rude about it?
You have to grab that Triforce if you are to find anything in the remainder of that 5.
Yup.
And that includes that staircase.
That's okay, let's just HUD clip and think about that later.
That is exactly what both runners have come to the conclusion of at this stage. So our tracker noting that the Gurias both rolled +2, and somebody in chat was asking what does rolling +2 mean. So there's a flag that is turned on in this tournament setting as DK gets this wand. There's a flag in this tournament where enemy HPs will be shuffled within a range of ±2. So if an enemy has 3 HP to begin with, a +2 HP means it would take 5 Woodsword hits to kill.
And it goes for that entire enemy type. It's not going to be like one red Guria has 4 HP and the next one has 5 HP. They'll be consistent. Oh, large secret of 80, by the way.
Yeah. We found that over at the bomb spot to the east of the candle shop. As Fred gets to the top of the waterfall, we find one of our hint shops.
Got one very cheap hint, a very tall level 3, and 2 slightly expensive hints.
Level 3, speaking of Link's Awakening, looks like one of those boss keys.
Oh, yeah. Would be an interesting instrument. DK
silver's
taking
on the.
triforce.
Yeah, I think at this point DK is going to come back in, get the floor item, but it was just faster to go grab the Triforce than anything else.
Yeah, I think at this point he's ruled out like a lot of the lower runes as well.
Okay, so at least we have a couple of good warps.
Yeah, we got one to the southwest, which is pretty unseen thus far.
Oh, DK is leaving. With the silvers in hand. Okay, so there it is. And we find the other hint shop with all of the prices in the 40s.
Alright, so buying all the hints is gonna run us something like... It's a lot. It's like 240 rupees.
Let's just get the red ring so that way we don't have to purchase them. We can spend it on those hints.
Yeah.
Fred finds a sword that he's probably not going to be wielding for quite a while, if ever. And there's the candle for DK.
Yeah, 26 minutes, we're getting candles, and one player has obtained 1 heart.
Fred finds level 9. South of level 6.
There's gonna be 2 Q9s, so we have that to look forward to.
That means 5 of our levels so far are over here on the east side of Hyrule.
Yeah, what's even left on the west?
So we have yet to see level 1, 2, 4, and 7. Surely one of them is going to be left of the center.
You say that, but then we could get something like all recorder blocks or something. Fred finds the letter on the south coast.
Okay, so let me ask you that question then. Where is the recorder?
The recorder is next to the ladder in 8.
I just like the fact that you're thinking evil here.
I mean, if they're next to each other, that can't be so bad, right?
In that Wizrow infested dungeon?
Alright, made it into the 1Q3 spot. Got some cheap meat in there. And Fred does take any heart, so he's up to 5.
Which gives him, of course, a 66% chance that we're going to wield the white sword item.
Alright, how likely is our... Ooh! Just knows the medium secret of 40.
Yeah, nice maximum secret there.
I was thinking, how likely is it that we get our white sword item is going to be something that's reasonably wieldable? Can we throw the book at people?
I like that idea.
Alright, up to Death Armos, which with only Octoroks on the screen is slightly friendlier than other times that it's known as Death Armos.
Fred finds level 4 at the candle shop near Vanilla Start.
And DK's not too... Oh, very early Chevy room, though.
Fred's going to get some information out of this and find out just exactly what this level 4 has in store for him. I know he would love to have that bomb drop.
Quick, grab one of those arrows and throw it back.
Ugh! Didn't work. All right, is this a segmented 4?
Staircase says yes.
It's a segmented 4. With whiz robes. Of course it has whiz robes.
Well, 5 was a very interesting shape, so maybe this being segmented is not so surprising. Oh, Lionel's not being helpful to DK.
That is a really rough screen for Lionel's to be.
It's a really rough screen to have like more than 4 of anything.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think Lionel's are probably the worst to have on that screen just because of the swords that they shoot. Wizrobes would be a close second, but at least they would teleport over the water, perhaps.
Yeah, whereas if it's Lionel's, you can't necessarily run.
Hi, Goma.
We've gone quite far away in this 4. This is really something.
I would love to see this map. But Fred instead sees a Triforce.
I think we were up in the top left corner of it, which implies that it's really wide.
Either that or that's just a true room segment.
I think it still counts as wide in that case. It's just some really long stairs.
I mean, you've seen those stairs. They definitely look like they could take a while for a person to transverse them.
I used to have like kind of a height sphere that was brought on by some really long escalators, and I wonder if that would happen to me if I was in like a Zelda staircase.
I'm willing to say yes.
Another take any cave, so both players at 6 hearts now.
The guaranteed white sword item when we find it. If we find it. So I know DK really wished he was able to pick up that fairy.
He's actually sitting on the higher health at the moment. And Fred also going to purchase the meat.
Did we even see the bait block in 8?
Don't believe so.
Yeah, I didn't think we did. So DK may be going to do the same thing that we saw from Fred here with taking care of these moblins.
Yeah, it didn't... Well, besides getting the Triforce, didn't seem like there was a whole lot of room to go places.
And just a small secret at Vanilla 1Q4. So I guess at this point, let's just go ahead and introduce our runners, because 34 minutes is the perfect time to actually bring up this conversation. DK ended up in week number 1 defeating myself. Week number 2 was very close to beating Third Wolf. That race was decided by approximately 3 minutes time. For Fred, week number 1 fell to Chest Jerk. And then week number 2 bounced back Actually, no, it was week 1 defeated Almighty Bob Bino, and then week number 2 fell to Gotta Have Heart himself.
Oh, we found our boat. The level 2 map.
That is actually a really nice looking sailboat.
And it is also segmented. And there's a red ring.
Yeah, that's a welcome sign with what we've seen inside of these dungeons so far with the Wizrobes and whatnot.
Level 2 at least slightly friendlier. DK's taking a little walk around this fort, continuing to see Wizrobes. Oh, clock drop though.
And the magic boomerang, the other item in 2. And there's our map for 4.
Looks like I've put my statue of the state of Ohio on, like, I can't, a stand, that's the word I need.
Cincinnati looks a lot closer to Cleveland.
Can't completely tell whether Fred was trying to burn the magic boomerang, but he did end up picking up. Looks like DK will take a little more of a walk into the other part of 4.
And this has the potential of being an item. It is. What is inside of this 4? It's a heart container.
Well, okay. Stack up a little more hearts, and then once you get that red ring, you can stop picking them up if you want.
Yeah. Oh, the lag over here for Fred is... He winds up taking care of that. Now into the Triforce room.
Should be out of 2 very shortly. DK's almost done with the top half of this part of 4. There is that Triforce, and there's Zelda's room, and we're locked in with some gels.
Considering the enemies that are inside of this level 4, that is not the worst thing to see inside of a locked up room like this. You'd rather see those gels than seeing things like, oh no, Wizrobes.
Yeah, Zelda's not in her room. Some would say that that's the problem, actually.
I mean, if Zelda was in her room, then we'd be done with the game. Fred finding level 7.
Oh, good, actually, kind of... Oh, hey! Take the Triforce and run. Pop in here for a second as well. Transport staircase.
And DK complete with this level 4 is just going to go ahead and grab this Triforce and get on out of here. Well, hopefully...
Ah, okay, red candle.
Has to deal with these Wizrobes one more time. And there it is, Triforce from 4 for DK.
Ah, good. 7 also has Wizrobes.
Look at all those fairies.
Wow, 5 fairies.
Congratulations, Fred, on your 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, or rather your 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th kill.
Question from chat, is there logic to prevent nearly impossible combat requirements? Well, if they're only nearly impossible, then they are possible.
I still think back to the one swordless showcase that I orchestrated where it was fires that you can't bomb that led towards, I want to say the wand was behind that in the chain.
Wow. Another staircase all the way at the start of 7. Bring us a little bit deeper into the spiral.
And more whiz robes, because why not? And the clock of the night here for Fred with 3 blue whiz robes.
Wow. The clocks have been kind of delivering. Like, we've taken some lumps, but we've come through in a couple difficult rooms.
For those that are just tuning in here, this is a Shapes First to 6, Second Quest 789.
Yep, so we got spirals, we got muggers. Fred's paying off the mugger with rupees. Now board 2 for DK, so Red Ring can get to help him out.
And there's mugger number 2, and there's the red ring for DK.
There's a chat discussion going on about some of the wonderful flags that are available in this randomizer.
Yeah, including max HP.
I was just thinking back to the other day, I believe it was Fryteeth designed the flag set where, like, max HP was actually a thing, but you also got starting magical sword.
At least that takes a little bit of the brunt away from it.
Yeah, it seemed like an interesting idea, at least.
Then again, I cry whenever 0 HP is turned on.
0 HP for Link or for the enemies?
No comment.
Just defeating some Electro Ropes in level 2.
Our bracelet in 7.
Alrighty. We can be strong now.
And we don't know if we need that power bracelet, but we have yet to see the white sword item. And we also haven't seen one.
I think it'll be pretty interesting if this ends up being a search for the white sword ladder.
Oh my gosh. In that case, let's just put the recorder at 9.
Okay. I can arrange that, I know a guy.
How much is he gonna charge me?
I think he would charge me, so that's okay.
Well, if we're doing this to our runners, then I might as well pay half of it. Ladder and 7.
Alright,
Never
mystery
mind.
solved. As DK actually squares up the Triforce count, although Fred is about to pick up this quick one as well.
So small fires, that fee from the person that we're speaking of now just went down to 0.
Yeah, oh well.
We tried. Make sure you give these runners a follow, dk9146 and fcoughlin.
Got the links in the chat for you.
Thank you very much.
It's interesting to
Thank you
see... Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I'm just saying, it's interesting to see how differently the palettes show up sometimes based on people's setups. Like, this orange of 7 is very different for DK.
Yeah, whether or not you're on like an emulator or recorder is the white sword item. And it's power bracelet blocked.
Wow. Power bracelet and ladder in 7, and then the recorder is power bracelet blocked, and now finally, after all of that, we can do the entire overworld.
So, big thank you to ObnoPoint for clicking the button that made that icon appear. That was where I was going to originally go with that, but there's the power bracelet for DK.
Opno had just gotten done saying, "That's go mode." Oh wait, no recorder. But then we found the recorder.
Exactly. Commentator cursed by way of the tracker.
Is recorder required? We don't really know yet. We're still missing a level.
Yeah, we're missing level 1. And also there's still that possibility that we could run into a dig dogger.
Well, in the spirit of all the levels being in the eastern half of the world, Fred is finishing out the eastern half of the world.
Yep, well, he gets the bow. And now goes back into level 8, knowing all he needs to do now is find the Triforce. That's all he needs to do. So what percentage of this level 8 is Fred going to explore before he gets that Triforce?
So I think he's seen like 40% of it, maybe another 10% to find like the right staircase, because I think we didn't have the easiest time actually getting to it, our first look in.
So I have really bad news right now.
What do you got for me?
DK left level 7 without the staircase item.
Oh no.
Also, 30 and 71, and we still pie the Coke at 71.
It's a convenience fee.
The convenience of not seeing the text pop up twice.
Yeah, we're having to walk all that far, but yeah.
Now we find all the potion shops.
Yeah, that's all there's going to be in the West, because there aren't any levels. Another one.
It's like we found the drugstore corner.
In case you needed money to buy a potion, there you go.
What is going on with that Dodongo?
You really needed to make sure that corner was clean.
I approve. And there's our other one way.
Okay, that's ruled out then. I'm very interested how you get into the top row then. So we actually might be seeing quite a bit of this level 8. Alright, back along Potion Shop Row.
Well, this is a fun room.
Fun room on
And
half
we've
a
mentioned
heart.
Yeah, which is the whole reason. Oh, yep. Wizrobe says hi.
That's okay, we just try it again.
For what it's worth, door repair is 16.
Not the worst.
Yeah. It's one off the minimum.
I'm just thinking like now we're gonna hit them all because we hadn't hit them earlier. Yeah, whatever the path to this Triforce in 8 is, it seems complicated. As many things in 2QA usually are.
Yeah. It seems like there's a very convoluted path to get to this Triforce in 8.
West Death Mountain Power Bracelet spot does not push. Kind of worried for DK that level 1's going to be a ladder river spot.
I think, honestly, that would be the best situation to force him into 7, but I almost would like to see level 1 be found with a book inside. Because then you'd grab that book, buy the hint, and hope that the hint tells you that the ladder is in 7.
And we got plenty of hints to buy. Know where they all are.
And we got plenty of money to buy those hints, too.
I believe in any row that takes us to the other set. Item in 8, it's a heart.
We've only have seen 2 before that point that were dungeon hearts, so it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, they gotta happen at some point.
Yeah.
And
Chat
yeah,
speculating about. I was just mentioning the chat speculating about the arrow being the rare shop, but there's the second arrow shop right there.
And yeah, we know the shape of this level that Fred is in. It's second quest 8, so it's a spiral. Level
1 found on top of Death Mountain.
So this is kind of nice actually because Fred might end up doing a little extra overworld with all of his items, but it's just unblocked.
Yeah, depending on how Fred routes this. Again, the best case scenario, if you are cheering on DK at this point, would be to find the book inside. Just anything that says you gotta go back to 2Q7.
Or if not 2Q7, then hey, your item isn't in all of these other places.
Yeah, for certain. Chad asking where was the white sword item located? Was located at the desert push block just south of that fairy fountain. White sword and 8 on the floor.
Nice pickup. Yeah, it looks like we're just walking this whole way left. Map of 1.
Very linear.
Some kind of jumping animal.
And Fred's still checking staircases here. One room away from the Triforce. And DK finds the first item of this level 1. It's a heart container. Because we knew we were going to have to find them at some point in time. And it's nice to get this white sword before you have to do this room for your Triforce. Also, chat comparing 2Q8 to level 24 of RC Pro-Am.
Guess I'll have to look that up later. Another heart on the floor in 1 as Fred is done in level 8.
And he was in there for quite a while.
Well, he's got nothing left to see in there, so don't have to come back at any point. One sure has a lot of Gibdos in it. And so now Fred gets to do his search for level 1.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is the book the only non-heart that's remaining in the pool?
That's what the tracker says.
Yeah.
I think the deal in 6 is there was a Chevy room over to the right, and any other progress was non-obvious, and they didn't have a ladder at the time.
And it's shape 6.
Yeah, this might not quite be the same because it looks like it's extending quite a bit over to the right, but like many shape 6s I've seen have just been like houses.
Yeah. It's a triple heart 1. So that's unfortunate for DK.
Yeah, a little hard for us as the omniscient, semi-omniscient viewers to expect much more, but hurts for him when he's still looking for stuff. We have seen Mags. It's at the 2x4 candle spot in the Deadwoods.
Oh, yeah. Where you do the screen scroll to get to the graveyard.
Yeah. I think I just like saying 2x4.
I'm tempted to make a wooden board joke, but...
Would it fall flat?
Yes.
I guess we didn't run into the Triforce?
DK did not grab the compass out of this room.
We found where
we were last locating it in this room.
We found where all the bunnies are too, so maybe that's why this isn't so friendly.
Or not.
It's not quite shaped like a compass. Well, the ladder is proving very helpful in 6. There's a Triforce.
Yeah, all Fred now needs to do is find where this level 1 is, and then he will be eligible to get into level 9.
And just before the hour mark as well. Ha 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 ha. Walk all the way back over there.
Yeah, he gave up after finding that heart container to not bomb to the north, and that is the room where the Triforce is. That's just a really unfortunate piece of luck here for DK, who... over the last, 10 or so minutes now, this seed has really come across some bad luck, and look where Fred is.
Yeah. Seems like he's going to do the east side first, which is sensible, and so it's not going to be too long before he's also here.
Oh, DK can't finish this level. That's even worse.
Oh my. Well, okay. We were talking about things that would go force him somewhere else. You hate to see it that late, but that's a blocker. Cannot defeat Goma without the bow, so need a ladder to go get the bow.
And that bow is located in level 7, as you can see on the tracker. Never 7 until it is 7.
Fred's actually bending back around to check recorder spots in the desert.
Yeah, this will give DK a little more time, but it really comes down to how much longer does it take for DK to get back into 7.
Nothing worth buying anymore in that desert shop.
What, you don't want a souvenir from there?
I got a postcard, maybe.
Wish you were here?
Yeah, you know, the scenic desert.
Yes, certain.
And that power bracelet spot does not push for DK.
I once had a person that I know who sent the family a postcard, greetings from the big game.
I mean, I understand why they make that kind of thing, but that's... yeah. Now, unfortunately, okay, so DK is going back to 5. He was doing like a little bit of overworld, so I think he might have been thinking, am I blocked by the white sword item?
Again, the best case scenario for DK is that he finds the book here, but it is either the item here, the item in the other staircase in level 8, or the 2 items that are in level 9.
And Fred's gonna do the whole grave, and with 7 bombs could also give some thought to doing west of the mountain.
Yeah. Based on his current routing. Although, did Fred do the Deadwoods yet?
I know he saw the magical sword, so... because he saw it on 3 hearts. So, okay, he's... recorder checks. He should have it covered candle-wise, though.
Alright, is this the staircase for DK? It is. Is it something we need? No, it's another heart container. Well, we don't need it. Technically, DK doesn't need it, but we would really love to see it be the book. Unfortunately, it's not going to be.
Fred whisking himself back to 2. We'll keep walking from there.
And Fred is going to find level 1 coming up here in just a moment. DK is going to find the recorder. I know that's not something that DK wanted to see, but it's another item off the pool.
Yeah, and like it helps you get places at least. Like it's not complete nothing.
All right, back to 7. Does he go in? Yes, he does. And Fred's not going to bomb here because he hasn't seen the map. He has no reason to believe that that is where he needs to go. I believe DK is heading in the right direction here.
I mean, DK will take a window if he can get it. If it's taking the same walk across one that he had to, then great.
I would not count DK out just yet, but he's going to have to go really fast. DK probably muttering, haven't I just done this room?
Yeah, really.
But you're also glad that it's not Whiz Robes.
Oh, turnstile. Gots the clip.
Yeah, you know that this is going to be a transport because of that turnstile room. But this will at least put you in a new direction. Maybe here?
And Fred's got the compass now, so making that walk back to the driveways.
Yeah, he's muttering the words, son of a monkey.
No, they're Goma.
And there is the ladder for DK, and DK is probably muttering the same expression of son of a monkey, but probably in other words in addition to that. So DK saves out of there, which removes the red bubble curse. Gonna go ahead and pick up this bow, and then back to 6, back to 1, finish off 8. 8 is going to take a long time, though. As Fred picks up the final piece of the Triforce, is now eligible to get into level 9.
Yeah, the path that we... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
The path that we saw through this 8 is not fast.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't. So, Smile Fires, it's time to play the Roar and the Door. Which one do you think Fred's going to find first?
I think the Door... That's just based on balance of me being part of like 4 different seeds where there was an immediate Gana. I feel like he's going to be hiding a little bit this time. I think he's going to be in one of his own ears.
Or he'll be here.
Alright, that works.
With 3 post-Ganon options for Fred. Trying to get him over into a stun lock.
Two more hits, I think.
No, 1 more. And there is the silver arrow to kill the beast. And is Zelda in the next room? No.
Are you
How
behind?
about to the left?
Door number 2.
Yes!
Yes!
And
wow!
Fred has won.
with a time of 1:09:21. And a very quick
Immediately.
DNF lodged by DK, so let's see if we can get them in here to talk all about it.
And this race just really came down to the ladder being in 7.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, I feel like ladder ends up being a very key item a lot of the time, but there was just really not too much else to swing it back, I think.
As we welcome in the creator and winner of this race, Fred. GG's.
Good evening. Whew.
You always sound exhausted when we get to these post-race interviews, and while we also welcome in DK.
The great race there, DK.
Yeah, GG, Fred.
And I think I will just ask DK the question. What do you think led to this race?
Well, I mean, I took a lot of deaths, for sure. Ultimately, I felt like enough deaths set me up to where I wanted to gamble on white sword item being either the ladder or it being something under a power bracelet, and hoping that Fred didn't dive 7.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was what the difference was. Once you abandoned the ladder in 7, it was unfortunate for you.
Yeah, and I even grabbed that Dagon power bracelet. I was like, man, I already got half the items, and I've only been in 7 rooms. I'm out, and I was 2 rooms away.
Yeah, I kind of just did the opposite. I died a lot early in... I've started trying to make dives in 8 and 6 and kept dying or getting bubbled, and so I was like, oh shoot, I am behind massively because I'm at 3 Hearts Wood Sword, and I am taking... It took me like 4 tries to get the Triforce in 5. I kept dying in the Triforce room.
You both had the same adventure when it came to that Triforce in level 5, to the point that we had so much spinning around that we all got dizzy.
Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, just in that case, I was like, okay, DK probably got here with more health, so wasn't doing all this bashing the head in the wall that I was doing. I felt like it was Tin Cup, the movie there, with Costner kept shooting at the green until he got his 13, when he could have easily laid it up and won the whole tourney. But yeah.
You both had issues with that room. It just was a very unfortunate room. At what point did you wish you had that wooden boomerang out of 6, DK?
Never. I'll never remember to equip it to use it.
Because we were making a comment about how that would have helped you with that, like that kind of turned you aside, and then the Wizrobe did you in.
Yeah, for sure. If I could probably stand, maybe try and use that boomerang every once in a while. But no, that was a fun seed, for sure. And yeah, I might have even metagamed myself a little bit there, thinking that I was so far behind, because it kind of sounds like we were having kind of similar-ish encounters in these dungeons, because I kind of did the exact same thing Fred outlined.
Yeah, it's just very unfortunate the way that things turned out with regards to the ladder and whatnot. We were hoping you were going to find the book, but at this point, it was probably in level 9.
It didn't help that some of the places you went, like 5 was so locked down. If you wanted to get the second item, you pretty much had to pick up the Triforce, and that was an adventure of a room as well. And then the path through 8 is really something.
Yeah, that was quite a lengthy 8 for you, Fred, when you came back to get the Triforce.
Oh gosh, yeah. The fact that I thought it was going to be a ladder block there from the top. Okay, I'll just go down into that one Chevy room. And you couldn't bomb out or walk out of the Chevy room through invisible walls. You had to take a very convoluted path where you took the stairs. You were very hard forced, too, because of all those shoot rooms up there. To take the path to the left side, there was a slightly faster path, I think, if you went down, but I kept forgetting about that until I was too far into the level to have it matter. And then just take a bunch of stairs, end up at the top of the interior of the spiral, and just work your way backwards to where the Triforce was. And pick up a white sword along the way, at least.
I was going to say, at least if you got to pick up a white sword, so that way when you got into the final room and saw the blue Wizrobes, that kind of helped you out a little.
Yeah, that was definitely a nice combat advantage there. I think I had the red ring at that point too, so at least at that point it was okay. I don't have to worry as much about one shot to the face and dead. I could at least take a couple. Kept wishing I had a potion, but never thought to actually get one.
I think the other thing was that I have of note was the very unfortunate ending to level 1 for you, DK.
Yeah, and that daggone color scheme, I thought it was the same dungeon that had the triangle back to the left, and I was like, I didn't track it on my map, so I started going back over. I was like, I've got to see it somewhere, and I was like, well, heck, where the heck is it? What was it? 7 that had that same color scheme that had the triangle one room down, so it just that room was in my mind at that point. So I was like, well, where the heck is this? So I finally re-cleared that. Yeah, I re-cleared that room that had the compass, and I was like, oh, it's in the top right. Okay, and then up there, boom, no ladder, no bow.
Hello, Goma.
Well, that explains why you didn't pick up the compass thing, because you thought you already saw it. So okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
had it already, and then when I went back through, I was like, where is this track? Because I'm pretty good at tracking my dungeons, and I had nothing down. I was like, what the heck? Well, it had to be to the left somewhere.
And of course, clearing off these Pole's voice. When you don't have the bow, is a lengthy process.
Yeah, luckily we had the wand, so it sped it up some.
Nice location for that wand, by the way. Just gotta get through a Lamola and then block clip blast another blue Lamola.
Oh yeah, that was a ton of fun. Well, so that was only 3 or 4 tries for me in the end before I finally was able to get in there. So I kept talking myself out of, okay, I'm just gonna block clip from the bottom, and then I was like, no, Fred, just reverse clip. You know how to do that. You can do it before the landmo gets to you. You do it all the time in level 9. You can do this. And
I'm glad you had that confidence. I was like, you can reverse clip. You can't do it fast enough. Go get safety strats in the door and do it from the bottom.
yeah, well, that's why I was originally I tried to do that the first couple of times, and then I got lined up, and then actually I got in there one time, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna just finish killing them. So that way I can just come out and go straight up to the Triforce, and apparently I was 1 pixel too far to the right. And they came over and gave me the death hug. I was already on the block and just just was like, okay, they're almost all dead, and just apparently tapped right or something, just 1 pixel, and just enough for them to actually be able to damage me then.
It was a really low heart portion of the race for both of you too when you were in there as well, because you were just finding gas in the dungeons. The hearts were just in 1 in other places.
Yeah, as I said, at that point, I was still on 3 hearts, because I think I got almost all my take any stuff down in the main forest part, but that took forever to find a candle. And then, yeah, I ended on 7 hearts. I could have been 8 or 9 if I'd gone down a couple of stairs, but I had red ring. I'm like, yeah, I just have to go, because I think DK's right on my tail. But great race there, DK.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I want to say the same thing.
You're formidable. You've proven yourself time and time again here. Really strong opponent. I'm looking forward to seeing you next couple of rounds here pull off and come back up really nicely here. So great job, and looking forward to the rest of the tourney.
Yeah, I have to echo that sentiment, and thanks to all the volunteers that put this all together. It's a fantastic time, and I'm really looking forward to the Wheel of Doom giving me Sidetown next week, because it's been a gauntlet so far.
Yeah, Sidetown being in the 1 and 2s is not something that everyone would be thinking of at this point, but
yeah,
it has been a crazy tournament.
That's an understatement. Just hearing Sidetown's name in 1 and 2, that's just not a name you would hear there normally in that scenario.
It is going to be a lot of names between 2 and 1 and 1 and 2, so...
Yeah. And when you take a look at the opponents that Sidetown has faced off against, losing to Sea Falcon and Cafe JD, both phenomenal runners, it gets to be a little more clear how he's 1 and 2.
Yeah, no, this tournament feels like it is stacked. There are so many good names. It's like any any time that the wheel rolls, it's not like, oh yeah, easy win or anything like that for almost any of the matchups, and especially with the Swiss format now, that's getting even more pronounced as players of those similar skill levels are ending up together, but even then they're bleeding across both skill levels. So there's not really a easy game coming out, I think, for the rest of the way. It's just so much fun to watch.
I think between the rookie rumble that Melchior has helped build up and the various Triforce triple plays that go on an almost nightly basis, the weekly races, people have gotten good at this game, and it shows when you take a look at some of the people that we're facing here in lower brackets. And I mean, it's not going to get any easier from here on out.
Nope, not at all.
But good luck to you coming up here in week number 4, DK. Bounce back and help my strength of schedule, please.
Yeah, there we go. No worries at all. Have a good night, guys.
Take care.
And GG to you, Fred, and good luck coming up here in week number 4.
It's going to be a good one. Looking forward to it. And again, thank you to you all putting on this restream here, for the tracking, for the commentary here and everything. It's just been a ton of fun, and looking forward to more evil action here coming up soon.
For sure.
And I think with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. There's another race that's going to be beginning in about 6 minutes, which will be over on SpeedGaming 3 as our we get to wrap things up here in just a moment. Actually, no, that one's actually running late. I got to get that one wrapped up. And also there's a race coming up here right now. Maybe? No, SpeedGaming. You'd think I would learn the schedule by now, Smilefires.
It's okay.
Having more races on
6 minutes.
More races on SpeedGaming 3 and SpeedGaming. Thank you very much for joining. Smilefires, I got to go take care of business, so you go ahead and give us the sign off.
All right, please follow the runners. You can follow Rick and our tracker ObnoPoint as well. They play some great Z1 and Z1R. And keep an eye out for the other games on the schedule. Probably see you in another stream. Thanks to everybody for coming out. Thanks to DK and Fred for putting on a great race. And have a good night, everybody.